Great morning, great morning, great morning. You guys come on in, come on in. Come on in the door. The digital door, that is. Great morning, you guys. Oh, yeah, your girl is running late. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. All right, while you guys are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and share. Okay, bear with me. Come on, come on. Great morning, you guys. Great morning. Y'all come on in. Share with your folks. Share with your folks. Let me go ahead and hold on. Great morning, April. Great morning, great morning. Hey, Miss Miranda, how are you, beautiful? Thank you for sharing, April. Hey, Nicole, Tasha. Good morning, Daddy. Good to see you. Listen, you guys. So this morning, as always, I was talking to God, and I just realized that a word didn't end up on there, right? For some reason, a word didn't show up. I ended up cutting it off. But I was talking to God, like what to say to your people. April talking about daddy. Girl, that's my daddy. I'm just playing. You know, I share my daddy, not my husband. But he'll be y'all's brother though. Yeah. So listen, I was talking to God, and he really has been dealing with me about time and people and love and relationships. And one of the things that we have to be cognizant of and aware of is have a specific amount of time, a specific amount of time on earth, a specific amount of time to live. We have a specific amount of time, and you do not have time to waste time over foolishness. You don't have time. Listen, value the time that you have with people, because you can't get it back. Value the time you have with people, because you cannot get it back. There's no go back. There's no do over. Value the time that you have. I know, when I would be talking to my sister, she was like, well, I get how you are with daddy because you lost your daddy, right? Exactly. I lost my daddy, right? And when I lost my daddy, I knew that I was going to make the most of every moment of time that I had. So when I met my biological father, he getting my time. I love my daddy. I'm gonna be up under him. That's my daddy, and I'm sticking beside it. I don't care. I'm sticking beside him. Okay. You've got to love the people that you have in your life while you have them. You don't have time to wait until they get perfect, because guess what? Your behind ain't perfect. You ain't got time to wait till they get everything right, because guess what? Your butt don't get everything right. You ain't got time till they figure out how they hurt you or injured you or what they did wrong, because you hurt, injured, and did some stuff wrong too. Value the time that you have with people. Value it. Well, what does that mean, Dr. V, to value that time? That means you don't take it lightly and you don't take it for granted. You don't assume that you're going to be able to work it out later. You don't assume that they know how you feel. You don't assume that it's all just going to be okay and you're just going to have your attitude and then, it's going to be good. No. You value the time which you have with people because you don't know how long you're going to have. But if you make the most of every moment, you will not end life with any regrets. My whole thing with my life is I want to live a regret-free life. That means that what I want to do, that I do it, that I take risk, that I love, and I love big. Even if people don't love me back, so what? So what? So what they don't love me back? What do I lose by loving? Nothing. Because guess what? God has commanded us to love. And if God has commanded us to love, do you lose when you love? No, you lose when you want to control love. When you want to control people's responses to love. When you use to move, that's not what love is to be. Truthfully, that's not love. I said what I said. If you're using it to get what you want, it ain't love for real. It's just another manipulation tactic. It ain't love. Oh, you can call it love, but it doesn't make it love. Just because you call something love doesn't mean that it is love. True love, it's patient. It's kind. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs. It forgives. It's compassionate. It's empathetic. So when people are operating from a place that's not love, you love anyway. Just love. When people have questionable motives, hey, listen, you allow yourself to discern and love. I've learned not to spend a lot of time trying to figure out if people are being genuine or not, because that's a lot of energy. Look, I'm going to take it at face value. And if it's anything other than that, God will reveal it to me, but I'm still going to love. So what, what? I don't have time. I don't have time for it. I'm just going to love. Love the hell out of people. Just love. Love people with reckless abandon. Just love. It's not going to make sense. And I get that it's not going to make sense because guess what? Love doesn't make sense. It wasn't designed to make sense. God's love is absolutely illogical. Why would he love people who constantly abandon him, disobey him, go the opposite direction for him, love him for the moment, and then when they get, oh God, I'm gonna do, if you just, I'm gonna da 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 da, and then he does it, and then they renegers. Y'all know how when you play spades, people renegers. Don't be a renegger, okay? Don't renege on the love that you give God. Don't renege on the love that you give others. And know that you're not losing anything by loving. So what people aren't real or genuine? So what they have ulterior motives? So what? You love from a pure place, from a genuine place, and let God deal with them. It doesn't mean be a fool. It doesn't mean, listen, Roz, I'm just trying not to be a renegger. I don't want to renege. I just don't want to renege. Why? Because God has done so much for me. God has been so amazing in my life. Look, you've got to understand this. Listen to me. Everything that has happened in your life, God knew it, already had the backup plan for it, already had it worked out. It's already done and it works for your good and you win. So what are you complaining about? You win no matter what. You win. So if you win no matter what, why are you mad? Because of what other people are doing? Why are you mad because they don't see the world the way you see it, or they didn't do it the way you would do it, or they listen? All of us have things that if other people looking at our life, they would have done it differently. So what? Allow people the space to do their life the way they need to do their life for them, and let them be accountable for it. Stop judging. Our judge is so on fleek a lot of times, and you know why? Because we judge ourselves. We judge ourselves, so we judge others. So if we judge ourselves and we're looking at our stuff and saying, well, you shouldn't have done this, or you should have done this, or da, 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 then we turn around and do that to other people. Stop judging and just love, embrace, and empathize. Let people work through what they got to work through, go through what they got to go through. One thing about me, and I've had to learn this because I was pretty judgmental, even though I didn't think I was judgmental. I wasn't judgmental about some stuff, but there was other stuff that I was really judgmental about. Let me tell you what I was really judgmental about. I was really judgmental about love now. I was really judgmental about relationship. Like, how could they do that when I've done Yeah, you get judgmental about that, right? Why would they do that? I would never. And you know what God had to do to me? He had to show me me. He had to show me me. He had to show me me and people around me. And then I had to operate in the empathy that I need because I've done the same thing. See, it's easy to be in judgment of stuff until you begin to look at your life for real and be honest with yourself. We talk about what we wouldn't do, but when you look at your life, you discover that some of the stuff that you say you wouldn't do now, you've done in the past. Some of the stuff that would cause you to disconnect and sever relationship, now you did it in the past. Some of the stuff that would cause you to be in your feelings, you've done it in the past. So why? Oh, that one hit. That means that hit home. We as human beings spend a lot of time judging. And then we get these emotions about the judgments that we've made about people. And we judge ourselves and we get emotions about ourselves. And then we begin to project those emotions on other people. And then we begin to sever relationships, lose relationships, back away from relationships, relationships that very well may be divine kingdom relationships, but we back away from them because of our judgments, because someone does something differently than us. They view the world differently from us. We don't know how to embrace difference. We think that everything has to be the same. Do you not know that the disciples separated from each other? Some of them, they couldn't be together doing ministry because they viewed the world too differently. So they said, hey, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on over here. You go on over there and we'll hook back up at another time. Because this right here, us together, it's not working. They knew how to do that and still love. Our problem is, listen, and what's crazy is I just was getting ready to put on my do not disturb. If people don't do what we want them to do when we want them to do the way that we want them to do, we feel away. We feel away, we get in our feelings, and then we begin to make all these judgments and assumptions and, go through all of these mental and emotional gyrations that leave us in a place where we want to renege, pull our love back because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be disappointed. We begin to sabotage ourselves and our relationships. For what? For what? For our judgments. When God has called us not to judge, because with the same measure that you judge, you shall be judged. Can you undergo that same level of judgment? Can you withstand that level of judgment of you and your life and your actions and your thoughts? Maybe somebody did something that you thought about doing, but you didn't do, and you judging them. I don't know why I'm going here, but this is where I'm going. Okay, this is where he's taking me. So this is where I got to go. You judge them for what they're doing, but you thought about doing it. You just didn't do it. But just because you thought about it, you might as well have done it because it's the same thing. So why are you judging them for acting out what you thought about acting out, but for whatever reason you didn't act it out? And it probably wasn't because you wanted to be moral and upright. It probably was because you were scared to. You were just scared and they weren't. So now you're judging them because they weren't scared to do what you wanted to do. They weren't scared to say what you wanted to say, but you judge them. Nah, we don't have time for it. You have to value the time that you have with people, in places, in situations, because you cannot get it back. What do you want the time to look like? What do you want it to feel like? What do you want to experience in that time? I want to experience love and joy. And if I want to experience love and joy, you know what I do? I give love and joy. I bring love and joy. I am love and joy. When I show up, love and joy show up. I love you too, baby. Huh. Hot. They're going to be hot. They're going to be, my baby going to get donuts at the best bakery in the world. They say in Florida. No, I'm not even going to say in Florida. I'm saying the world. These are the best donuts I've ever eaten in my entire life. And I'm a donut connoisseur. When the hot sign is on it, Krispy Kreme, I get a Shabbat in my spirit, okay? But Johnson's Bakery in Perry, Florida, baby, those donuts are fire. So if you ever go past Perry, take the little exit, go on down in there, but you got to go early, because if you go late, they ain't gonna have no donuts. They're gonna be all gone, okay? Love. It's so easy, but it seems to be so hard. Guess what? People mess up. People don't get it right. One of the things that we often struggle with as human beings is not holding on to who people were. I know, girl. I just stop when it freezes and then I come back in. When it stops, I stop. So don't feel like y'all missing nothing, because when I see the screen go black, I go black. So that you all won't miss anything. But we seem to struggle with letting go of who people were. But we mad at people when they won't let go of who we were. You can't lock people into an identity of the past and get mad because they lock you into your identity of the past. We can't do it. Look, if I can change, I got to give you space to change. I got to give you the opportunity to change. And I've got to accept your change as real. And guess what? If it's not real, you don't lose anything. You don't lose anything. We so worried about losing something. We so worried about people taking advantage of us. And have there been people that took advantage of us? Absolutely. Have there been people who took our kindness for weakness? Absolutely. But in the midst of it, do you know what God did? Gave you the opportunity to love in spite of. I'm trying to get centered. He gave you the opportunity to love in spite of. In spite of what, Dr. V? In spite of them. In spite of you. He gave you the opportunity to exercise your love muscle. The opportunity to exercise your love muscle. Our heart is one of the greatest muscles that we have. And when I say our heart, I'm talking about our physiological heart, but I'm also talking about our center, our heart, our core, the place where love resides. And it must be exercised. So how do you exercise it if it never has to be used in situations that has resistance attached to it? You got to have those times. This weekend's been a little challenging for me. Because it's made me think about when I lost my daddy. And what it felt like. And how challenging it was. And how alone I felt. I wasn't alone, but I felt alone because nobody could occupy that space with me. Loss, grief, grieving. It's something that we go through. It's a part of life. It's a part of the circle of life. But it doesn't make it any easier. But what it can do is encourage us to value the time that we have with people, because you can't get it back. What I know is this. I'm going to love. I'm going to love when people love me back. I'm going to love when they don't. I'm going to love when people are genuine. I'm going to love when they're fake. I'm going to love when people value it, and I'm going to love when they don't. I just will love from a distance, but I'll still love. You know, excuse me, we spend a lot of time as human beings trying to protect ourselves, protect our hearts, protect our minds, protect our spirits. It's great to protect your mind, protect your thoughts, right? Protect what you think and how you interpret things. But how you interpret things determines how you will respond to things. And how you respond to things well, it will determine what you feel. Like all of it's connected. Our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions are connected. The order that they work in varies, right? But it all is connected. This is my challenge to you. Value the people in your life, even if they've not gotten it right. Even if they've not gotten it right in the past and they've not gotten it right in the present. Just value the time. You value the time because you won't be able to get it back. It's okay if people don't listen, y'all. It's okay if people don't like you, if people don't want to mess with you. I'm not telling you put yourself in places where people don't want you or force yourself onto people. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. I need y'all to be real clear about that. I'm not saying grovel after people. I'm not saying be a doormat for people. I'm simply saying love people. Love people with appropriate boundaries for you, right? Love them the way you need to love them, but love them nonetheless. Yes, they got it wrong. They got this wrong. They got that wrong. Forgive them and keep it moving. Forgive them and keep it moving. Forgiveness doesn't mean you got to be all up in my life, though. I can forgive you and not want to hang out with you all the time. Like, I forgive you, but listen, this is what we're not going to do. We're not going to do this because I want to love you. And if we together all the time and you do that again, I love you. I'll love you, but it's going to be hard for me to love you. And then I might have to not lay hands out, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? Just love. Just love. Where you need boundaries, set boundaries. Boundaries are a great thing. Jesus set boundaries. Jesus set boundaries. Did you notice that? In the Bible, Jesus set boundaries. So there were times when he was getting ready to perform a miracle and he said, hey, get everybody out the room. Everybody, clear the house. Clear the house. And they had to go through, clear the house, get everybody out, get the family out, get the other disciples out, get the spectators out. Everybody had to get out of the house, and there might only be 3 people in the house with Jesus. 3. His 3 riders were the only ones left in the house because he couldn't afford to have disbelief. And then there were times when the 3 couldn't even be with him. Think about the garden. In the garden, they went to the garden, Jesus and the 3. And then he said, hey, y'all stay right here and pray. I got to go. Y'all can't go with me. I got to go further. Y'all can't go. He set boundaries. Even with Judas, he knew Judas would betray him. He knew it. He knew it. But Judas was still amongst the 12. He knew it when he chose him that he was going to betray him. How about that? He knew it when they were sitting at the table. How about that? He knew it when they broke bread and ate together. He knew it when he washed his feet. He knew he was going to betray him. But he knew that he had to be there for the time that he was there. And then he said, do what you do, but do it quickly. You can set boundaries just because someone's motives may not be right. They may not be the best. Doesn't mean that they don't have an assignment in your life. And you got to let them be in the place that they're supposed to be as long as they're supposed to be there, because there is purpose in their presence. My God. Oh, that'll preach right there. There is purpose in their presence. There's purpose in the presence of the betrayer. There's purpose in the presence of a Judas. There's purpose. Why? Because Judas's presence was the signal that Jesus was getting ready to ascend into his destiny. You got to understand, if there was no Judas, then what Jesus did could not have been done the way it was done. Judas's presence had purpose. So you worried about somebody being a Judas, but what I came to tell you is Judas's presence has purpose in your life. It is a sign that you're getting ready to ascend, that you're getting ready to be elevated. It is a sign. The presence of a Judas has purpose in your life. My God, and when the word says that he prepares a table for you in the presence of your enemies have purpose in your life. Their presence has purpose. Who is he preparing the table in front of if none of your enemies are around? If you don't block everybody, if you don't deleted everybody, who's going to see? Who are the enemies that he's preparing you? Oh my, I need y'all to understand stuff. See, listen, our wedding was God preparing the table for us in the presence of our enemies. Oh, people had to see it that didn't want to see it. People saw it that were mad. People saw it that felt away. People saw it though. That was God saying, hey, no, I need you to understand they belong to me. They belong to me, and I'm preparing a table for them. Y'all just watch. Oh, you ain't got to believe it. You ain't got to believe this is me. You ain't got to like it. You ain't got to do none of that. But baby, I'm preparing a table for them because they're mine. They're my chosen. And I'm preparing a table for them in the presence of their enemies, in the presence of their haters, in the presence of the ones that rejected them. I'm preparing a table for them so that they can see what love looked like, so they can see what this thing looks like, so they can see what I did in their life. So when you discounted them, you discounted me. But what I'm going to show you is you can't discount me nor mine. He prepares the table. See, when you value your time, you ain't got to try to go back and make stuff up. My daddy and I can never get the 55 years back that we didn't know each other. But you know what we can do? Value every moment that we have. From the moment that we found out about each other, we can value that, and that's what we've done. Oh, don't get it twisted. There have been times when my daddy been upset with me. There have been times when I've been upset with him. But it doesn't change the fact that we're going to value the time. I'm going to respect him. I'm going to honor him, that my days might be long. You got to understand, value and respecting and honoring parents is different. It's different from just regular people, because there's a promise attached to the valuing and the honoring of our parents, that your days might be long. Honor thy father and mother, that thy days might be long. There's a promise attached to it. So that means that whatever they've done right, whatever they've done wrong, you still are obligated by God to honor them. That means check your mouth. You not their parent. Check your mouth. Honor them. Treat them with the respect that they deserve. Honor them. Listen to them. Even if you don't agree with them, just listen. Honor them. Stop holding everything they did wrong in your lifetime over their head. Honor them. I ain't saying it's easy. I get it. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's necessary that we honor them. There's a promise attached to it, but even if there wasn't a promise attached to it, they are how you got life. If they didn't do anything else right, they did that right. How about that? They gave you life. What are you going to do with the life that you've been given? That needs to be your question. What am I going to do with this time? How am I going to navigate this time? I know you mad. I know you mad. You mad because they didn't do this or they didn't do that or they weren't there. Y'all, I can remember some very disrespectful moments of my life with my mother. Very disrespectful. I remember one time my mama told me to make up the bed. I was about 12 years old. She told me to make up the bed. My mama didn't raise me. My grandparents raised me. My mama came to the house that I lived in with my grandparents, and she said, "You need to make up that bed." And I looked at her. She said, "Did you hear me?" I heard you. Well, make up the bed. I'm not making that bed up. She said, "Oh, you gonna make that bed up. You gonna," and she got a belt and she was whooping me, and I was looking at her like this. And it hurt. And I wanted to cry, but she could not get the satisfaction of a tear falling from my eye. And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, so now you my mama? Now you want to be my mama?" I also remember when my daughter was about 12, me being up early in the morning because my daughter was running away off and on for a year, calling my mama, crying, saying, "Mama, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I disrespected you. I'm so sorry that I talked back to you. I'm so sorry that I didn't honor you like I should have. Mama, I'm so sorry that I didn't make that bed up when you told me. I'm sorry that I didn't cry when you whooped me. I'm sorry that I didn't respond the way I was supposed." I had to apologize to my mama because I lived long enough to get it. See, if you live long enough, you'll get what you give your parents. In some shape, form, or fashion, I don't care how great of a parent you think you are, you'll get what you gave your parents to some degree, in some measure, from one of your children. They'll be your problem child. They'll be the one that don't listen. And one day they'll be the one that says, "Well, you didn't this and you didn't that. And all I wanted was this and you couldn't do this and you didn't do that." I know you think you're the greatest parent in the world, but I promise you one day one of your children or more will tell you all the things that you did wrong as a parent. And you'll face the same scrutiny that you put your parents under. And you'll understand why grace is so important. Because the truth of the matter is, all of us have things that we wish were different in our lives, that we wish we'd gotten differently. But do you not know that your parents went through the same thing with their parents, and their parents went through it with theirs, and on and on and on for generation after generation after generation? Do you not know that you come not with a manual? All you have is you try to do your best, and what you did with one doesn't work with the other one, and you trying to figure out, well, what do I do with this one? None of your kids are exactly alike. None of them respond to punishment exactly alike. So you deal with them differently and you try to do your best, but guess what? Sometimes your best isn't good enough. But all that you have is your best at a single moment in time. That's all you have. What you know then, as you grow, as you mature, you learn more, you gain more, you grow more. But the truth of the matter is, you're still going to mess some stuff up. So my suggestion is, this is just my suggestion. Y'all do with it what you want to, but this is my suggestion. Value the time that you have with your parents while you have them, because one day you won't. One day they'll be gone. One day they'll take their last breath and they'll transition. And they won't want to come back because they'll be in a much better place. But you'll be left with a basket full of regrets, basket full of wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. But they'll be at peace. Be at peace now. Get at peace now. I'm big on reconciliation. Big on reconciliation. Big on difficult conversations. I'm big on that. Because this is what I want to know, that I've done everything I could in a situation. And when I've done all I could, I'm not responsible for how you respond or what you do with what I do. So if I've done my part, I'm good. Now, if I'm not good, that means I got to do extra. So sometimes I have to do extra. Even when I don't feel like I did something wrong, I have to do extra. And when I have to do that, I do that. Why? I don't want a life of regrets. I want to know that I did what I was supposed to do, the way I was supposed to do it. And then what people do with that is their business. So if God tell me to reach out and we ain't talked in some years, I'm going to reach out. If God tells me to check on somebody and we ain't talked in some years, I'm going to check on them. If God tells me to apologize to somebody and we ain't talked in a while, in years or whatever, I'm going to do that. If God says go above and beyond, I'm going to do that because I don't want regrets. I want to be obedient to God. This ain't about pleasing people. This is about being obedient to the Spirit of God. So if I do that and there's no response, my hands are clean. There's no blood on my hands. Some of us are walking around with bloody hands because we will not do what God has told us to do as it relates to people. We're still holding on to stuff that we need to let go of. We're still harping on stuff that we can't change. We want things to be a certain way, but they're not that way, and we mad. Stop. Stop. Life is too short and it's too precious. Yes, I could spend my time in this marriage trying to make him into the person that I want him to be, or I can love the person that God blessed me with as he is. And we can create our life and what that life looks like. Yes, he could try to make me into his wife that passed, but then he would miss out on the beauty of the experience that is me. Stop trying to make people who you want them to be and love them for who they are, flaws and all. Find the common ground and focus on that. Not the things you don't agree on. Find the things you do agree on. Find the ways that you can connect. Stop rehashing stuff that you know you don't agree on. Find what you agree on and stay right there in that vein. And love people while you can. Because no man knows the day or the hour. Not only when we'll depart, but when the Son of Man returns. Value the time that you have because you can't get it back. That also means do what God has called you to do. We often think that valuing the time just deals with our relationships, but it deals with our purpose too. God has given you a purpose and you're not operating in that purpose. You work a job, you get paid, you make money, you go through the motions of life, but you're not operating in your purpose. You're doing yourself a disservice. Value the time that you have and pursue what God has for you. All of it, every bit of it. So I'm doing, I do the No More Sabotage classes where I teach you how to stop self-sabotaging, right? Help you to identify your saboteurs and give you some tools that you can use to overcome them and kill them, right? So I'm doing the man who wrote the book. His company does this huge coaching thing for coaches around the world, and I'm doing it. And right now, we are learning how to instead of controlling surfing, instead of being a controller, be a surfer, like learning how to go with the flow, right? We're learning how to build up our positive intelligence or our PQ muscle that allows us to respond to things differently. And in doing this, I'm reminded all the more of why it's so important for me to do what I do. why it's so important for me to show up fully, why it's so important for me to give the word that the Lord gives me to people, right? I'm reminded that my purpose matters. When the man wrote the book, he didn't know the level of impact the book would have. When God gave him the revelation, because this revelation could only have come from God. When God gave him the revelation and took him on his personal journey, this is why your personal journey is so important. Mm, mm, mm. We got stuff we don't want to deal with, but we need to deal with it because our personal journey is not just for us, it's for other people as well. There are things that God will show you in your personal journey that's designed to be a blueprint for other people. So I'm reminded that what I do and the way I do it is important. Even if other people don't like it, don't agree with it, don't believe it. Listen, I can't afford to get caught up in whether or not people agree with or like me or what I do and how I do it. I can't afford it. Do you know why? People's lives weigh in the balance. So many times I get a call, a text, a DM from people where they say, oh my God, I needed that word so desperately. Oh my God, I just wanted to end it all. And I opened up Facebook and I heard you talking and you spoke to me. Oh my God, you know what you said confirmed what God had been saying to me and I didn't want to hear him. You need to understand that while you may not do what I do, what you do is just as important, just as valuable. But because you out here living your life as an imitation of an imitation of an imitation of an imitation of something someone saw on YouTube, the world never gets to experience the true, authentic you because you won't do the work on you. Oh, I get it. I spent years helping other people fix them, but not really fully being committed to doing the work I needed to do on me to fix me. I'm not saying I wasn't doing any work, I was, but I wasn't ready to dig deep. I wouldn't dig into the deep places, the inner recesses, the places that were sore and tender to touch. I wouldn't go there. But I took 2 years and I went there. For 2 years, I went to all of the tender spots and I found tender spots that I didn't even know existed. See, you got to be willing to do the work on you so that you can help others do the work on them from a place of I've been there and I've done it. Yes, some stuff you can do with people, but you got to work on you. You have to work on you. You got to be honest with you. You got to explore and examine you. Ask yourself the tough question, why? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? What was the purpose of it? Where did it come from? What is that rooted in? So that you can get to the root. Because until you get to the root, you'll keep making jacked up decisions. You got to get to the root. What's at the root? So that you can operate in your purpose and your destiny. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to create a bunch of mini Dr. V's. No, I'm trying to help you tap into you. And maybe you're in a place where you've been trying to tap into you, but you've been stuck. Maybe you're in a place where you've been trying to figure out who you are and what you're supposed to do, but you've been stuck. Maybe you're in a place where, you've been trying to figure it out, work it out, navigate it, but you're stuck. I'm going to make a suggestion. On February the 22nd, Wednesday, 2/22, I'm doing a class called Manifest God's Promises. Manifest God's Promises, okay? The class is $22.22. We operate in the twos. So you got to understand the significance of 2/22. 3 twos is a message of abundance. It is a message of you're on the right track. It is a message that says it's about partnership. It's about unity, but it's also about decisions. decisions. Because see, sometimes we've come to a crossroad in our life. And either we're going to do what God is calling us to do, or we're going to go another direction. When you get to crossroads, meet me at the crossroads. When you get to crossroads, you've got to make a decision. If you make the wrong decision, you delay the promises. If you make the right decision, you accelerate the promises. Some of us are at a crossroads. Some of us are on our way to a crossroads, but we don't even know where we have no clue. Whatever case it may be for you, this class is going to help you figure out, what is God's promise for me? What am I supposed to be doing? And how do I manifest it? If there's one thing I know, listen, having mastered everything, won't claim to, but I have mastered getting in God's presence for instructions, direction, and how to do something. And he's given me the gift of teaching so that I can teach others how to do it and how to hear God's voice for them. Because the way they do it may not be exactly the way I would do it or the way I did it, but God will give them instruction. So I'm a master teacher when it comes to teaching people how to tap into God's processes, not just in general, but God's process for them. February 22nd, 222 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why? 8 is the number of new beginnings. Listen, 8 is the number of new beginnings. And if you're on Central Time, 7 is the number of completion. We don't lose, right? If you are on Pacific Time, 5 is the number of grace. So we've got grace, completion, new beginnings. It doesn't matter what time zone you're in, you win. 2222, manifesting God's promises. I'll be dropping the link for the class. If you want it, put link in the comments. I'll send you the link so that you can register. 2222, I encourage you to get a friend, your significant other, to register with you. Y'all do it together, because guess what? One can put 1,000 to flight, but 2 can put 10,000 to flight. Let's manifest God's promises for our lives. Are you not tired yet? Ash Wednesday is the beginning of Lent. Lent is the 40 days leading up to Resurrection Sunday. We're getting ready to go into Passover, right? I know we did our beginning of the year fast, but I'm getting ready to do a 7-day fast. Now, I thought it was just going to be a natural thing. But last night, and I was really debating with my husband. I was like, well, baby, he was like, no, you can do this. And I was like, he was like, babe, if you can do 1 day, you can do 2. If you can do 2 days, you can do 4. If you do 4 days, you can do 7. I said, well, will you do it with me? He was like, I can't do it with you. Not that, but this is what I'm going to do. So I'm thinking it's natural. And I'm laying here, and God begins to talk to me about 222. I said, okay. Then I go look on the calendar, and it's Ash Wednesday. The day that people may go to have the palm leaves that were laid out the year before burned, and those ashes put on their forehead in a cross as a sign of repentance. As a sign of repentance, a sign of recognition of their sin, and that they are giving their sins to God. They're repenting. They're in a state of repentance. It's about repentance. It's about repentance. It's about repentance. It's about repentance. And God is calling his people to a place of repentance. Y'all hold on 1 second. I'm going to refresh because y'all are saying stuff and I can't see it. So hold on. Okay, I knew y'all were saying stuff. I'm going to have to scroll back up so I can see what y'all was saying because it got stuck. And I knew it was stuck because wasn't nobody saying nothing. And I've been saying too much good stuff for y'all not to say nothing back, okay? April said, I'm in. Kareen said, can you do a class on dream interpretation? Because I had a dream with 4 twos. Look up 2222, and that'll help you understand it. All right. April said for the link. Kim asked for the link. Rosalind asked for the link. Corey asked for the link. All right. All right. Kim said she's going to fast with me. Okay. See, listen. All right. So if you want to do the fast, and I'm going to tell y'all what we're going to do because it's going to be real specific. If you want to do the fast, I want you to put fast in the comments. So if you want the link for the class, put link. If you want to do the fast, put fast. If you want the link and the fast, put link and fast. And we're going to do this. And y'all, let me tell y'all, listen, I made a commitment to God to do something I've never done. When I say I've never done it, I've never done it. And I'm, oh God. This is taking a lot. I'm going to do a total fast. Well, it's going to be a water fast. I'm going to do a water fast. No food, 7 days. That's what I'm going to do. I've never done it ever in my life. I've done 1 day because I had to do it for 12 hours or something like that, maybe, right? Or 24 hours you don't eat because you got to have some kind of medical procedure or test or evaluation done. But I've never done a total fast. And God challenged me to do it. Listen, he told me to do it for 3 days. And I said, okay, God, I'm going to do it. And then I didn't do it. I said, oh, God, listen, you know my heart, but I can't do this. So I know because it's come back around that I have to do this. This is the ultimate sacrifice for me because I love food, some kind of food, any food. So I know that there's something God is getting ready to do in these 7 days and at the end of the 7 days. I'm not telling you to do a total fast. I'm telling y'all what I'm doing. There's something that I need from God besides some weight gone. There's something that I need to, I'm telling you, there's something I need from God. Wow, Corey. She said, my God, today, that's what I told my hubby, a water fast. Listen, y'all, look. Each day of the fast, and this is not going to be public. I'm not doing this public. I'm gonna do a special group for us that are doing this. Because I believe that this is designed to birth some things out. If you have been on the verge of birthing some things and you know that God is calling you to a fast, I'm not talking about that he's calling me to a fast, but I'm talking about God is calling you to a fast. I want you to be a part of this because what God is going to do is birth some things out, but he's also going to give me, it's some stuff he's going to give me to give to you to help you deliver. One of the things I know is I'm called to be a midwife. I'm called to help people birth out stuff, right? And so in birthing out things, I know that the birthing process is tedious. It's tedious, it's time consuming, it's labor intensive. Listen, and it can be overwhelming. And you have to have some people doing that thing with you. I'm telling you. And if you've been pregnant with purpose for a long time, if you've been pregnant with destiny for a long time, if you've been pregnant with mission for a long time, and you've not been able to deliver, what I'm going to tell you is this: God is calling you to a sacred place. calling you to a solemn fast. 14:14. I'm going to look that up because there's something that he is getting ready to birth. April said, every time you say you're doing something you don't want to, God reminds me of the word I gave you. Yeah, that he's going to bless me for doing it. Good morning, Lady Lawrence. How are you? Corinne said, oh my God, I had a dream where I met you in a hotel and outside of the door of the hotel was a crib. Wow. Wow. So let me look up 14:14. Hey, Antoine, how are you? Let me look up angel number 14:14. You know, nothing is accidental. And 14:14 is 7777. Okay. So let me look that up and see what angel number 14:14 is. Okay. All right. Angel number 14:14 is a combination of the energies and attributes of number 1 appearing twice, amplifying its influences, and the vibrations of 4. Number 1 carries the energy of striving forward and pursuing goals, ambition and tenacity, self-leadership and assertiveness, instinct and intuition, initiative, change, new beginnings, and starting afresh. Number 1 also relates to creating our own realities. What do we say Wednesday? We're doing manifesting God's promises. Listen, because we have work that we have to do. And the church has taught us to be lazy. We've been lazy. And what we've done instead of doing work is we're waiting on God. That's the vernacular. I'm waiting on God. God waiting on you. God's done what he's going to do, and he's waiting for you to do what you're going to do. Did you get some of the other kind too, baby? Other than the cake ones? Uh-huh. That's what you want, regular? I want a regular one. Thank you, Vay. My baby back with these donuts. Let me eat it now because I ain't going to be eating it next week, okay? All right. Number 4 relates to hard work and effort, building solid foundation, stability and practicality, honesty and integrity, system and order, patience, dependability, our passion and drive, and working determinedly towards achieving our goals and aspiration. Number 4 also relates to the archangels. Angel number 14:14 is a message from the angels that your thoughts and feelings are being elevated to a more positive state. My God. Give any fears or concerns of any kind to the angels for healing and transmutation, and have faith and trust that you are being supported, encouraged, and I touched that donut and it was warm. I felt something in the spirit. Can I get some more coffee to go with that? Some more coffee to go with that donut. Thank you, boo. We both got our God is dope shirts on in green and pink. I love my baby's support. All right. Let me give that. Give any fears or concerns of any kind to the angels for healing and transmutation, and have faith and trust that you are being supported, encouraged, and guided by the angels along your path. You are safe and protected always. Angel number 14 is 14:14 is a reminder to maintain a positive attitude, mindset, and optimistic outlook to attract positive energies and auspicious circumstances into your life. Practice positive affirmations and prayers to maintain a strong connection to the angelic and spiritual realms. Be mindful of the law of attraction as the energy you send out comes back to you. Angel number 14:14 is a message to be careful what you wish for, as you just might get it. Translation. Angel number 14:14 is an indication that you are under an open heaven. What is an open heaven? It is the space where you get what you say, no matter what you say. When you're under an open heaven, you got to be careful of your words, because whatever you say, you're going to get. So if you say the negative will show up. If you say the positive will show up. What you say, what you meditate on, what you focus on is what you're going to get. Be careful what you're focusing on. Stay positive, optimistic, and practical to ensure that you manifest what you want rather than what you don't. Building strong foundations from well-laid plans ensures future stability, progress, and success. Put your efforts and focus towards your long-term goals and aspirations and work with purpose, passion, and drive. Courageously step forward in the direction of your true life purpose and trust the things that you require will manifest when needed in your life. At each new phase in our lives, we are somewhere we have never been before, doing something we've never done before. The 7-day fast. Listen to me. Have faith and trust that you have the skills, talents, and abilities to face all that lay ahead of you. You are where you are meant to be at this time. We do best what we enjoy and feel passionate about. There's a place. There's a place that God is taking us to. Everybody won't go. But those who do the work will go. You'll get there. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I'm just going to talk about me. There are things that I've said in my life. Oh, I'll never do that. A water fast is one of them. Oh, I can't do that. That's not for me. Oh, y'all can do that, but that's just not for me. God is calling us to a place where there are things that he is taking us to that require another level of discipline and commitment, where we got to get our minds right. My husband said this to me. He said, you can do it. It's all here. This far, this much makes a difference. It's all in our minds. If you're ready to see the changes that God desires to make in your life, if you're ready to step into purpose, if you're ready to really manifest God's promises, oh, you can do it. It's doable. It's attainable. It's possible. God has given us his word and his promise. The question is, will you believe? Will you commit? Will you lock in? Will you eliminate failure as an option? Because that's what it's going to require. Starting Monday, for 7 days, we've got to eliminate failure as an option. We've got to eliminate I can't. And in the moments when you get weak, you got to pick up a phone, send a text, send out an SOS, put up the bat signal. Whatever you've got to do, get the help to have the encouragement you need in order to continue on. I refuse to not finish this 7-day fast. I refuse. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. There's no other option than do it. There's no other option than finish. There's no other option than lock in. I want everything that God wants for me. I want the clarity. I want all of it. Every barrier knocked down. Every enemy slain. I want all of that. And we can have it. God has given us what we need to get it. And aligned spiritual energy, his spirit, his angels, the movement, the timing, the season for us to get it, to access it, to tap in. It's up to us to do it. Value the time you have because you can't get it back. Right? And it's so funny that you said that. Because all this year, my word to God is, let it be unto me according to your word. Let it be unto me according to your word, God. What you say, let it be unto me according to that. Let it be unto me according to your will. What you will for my life, let it be unto me. Whatever that looks like, and I may not like it, God, but let it be unto me. It may not feel good, but let it be unto me. Because whatever it is, I know that you prepared me for it. I know that you've given me what I need to endure it. I know that you've provided me with the strength to carry it. Let it be unto me according to your word, God. Starting Monday, 7 days. On Wednesday, we're doing the Manifesting God's Promises class on 2/22 for 22/22. And I'll be dropping the link for that. I'm going to start the fast group. And as God gives me instructions, I'm going to put the instructions in there. There's some very specific things that God is going to give me to share with you. And there's some very specific things God is going to give you to share with the group. Oh, this isn't one way. You need to know your presence in the group is not an accident, because there are things that God is going to speak to you for you to speak to the group. God is raising up leaders, prophetic voices in the earth realm to speak what he says speak. And what you're going to discover is what you speak is going to be in alignment with what God is speaking to other people. You don't have to be a prophet. What you do have to be is obedient. Babe. Babe, come here. Come on here. Come on here.
Crazy.
Stay with me. So, babe, you know God done turned the whole 7 days into a 7-day fast for me. Like with purpose and intention.
Okay.
Listen, share with the people what you told me about the ability to do it. Because you've done it.
One day at a time. One day will turn into 2, 2 will turn into 3, 3 will turn into 4, and by the time you know it, you done did 7 days. But if you don't take the first step, you ain't going nowhere. How about that?
Don't go, baby. Don't go. Don't go.
Mom, your donut here, mine in there.
Baby, you can eat some of mine.
I don't want none of yours.
Okay, but get it and come back. Okay.
Right back.
Y'all listen. My heart's desire for you. My heart's desire for you is that every promise that God has made you be manifested. And yes, Corey, you can still take your vitamins. Absolutely. 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 If you have vitamins you got to take, if you have medicine that you got to take, listen, if you're someone who has to eat something to take your medicine, that's you and God. You do what you got to do. God knows, right? God knows. Yes, he is, Antoine, a man full of wisdom. April said, Tim, hey, brother. Kim said, good morning, Johnsons. Antoine said, y'all look so nice together. And we do. That's my boo, honey. That's my baby. And I love him, honey. I love him. I love that man. It's so funny because our relationship is, our wedding was, our marriage is a manifestation of God's promises. And what God has promised me and what God promised him also. So it definitely was not one way or one-sided. But go ahead, baby.
I'm finna be eating in front of the world.
Eat in front of the world. One thing about me, I'm finna take him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what else you want to say to the people about valuing your time, baby? You know, today I was talking about value your time because you can't get it back. Why is he laughing? Corey said, blessings, Tim. Antoine said, I'm so happy for you guys. Come, get on the camera.
Good morning, security.
Come on, Mr. Johnson. Come on. Come on. You can laugh on camera too. You know that.
I know.
Come on, baby.
Let me eat
Baby,
it.
no, come on. We get ready to get off so we can eat together. Go ahead. What you want to say?
You can't put a
He
shotgun
does,
to my
Tasha.
head.
I'm not putting a shotgun. This is the spirit of love. I love it when you share your wisdom.
Love me before the drive-by. That way I know what street I'm on.
You on the street. You stay on the street. They stay on the street.
Oh,
Lord. Come on, babe. Tell the people what you want to say.
I want to say that right now.
Yes, you do. Okay, so tell the people what the Lord is speaking to you. Huh? What he's saying? Come on, babe. He's saying. Now, because I know my husband, I know his head. He's saying, your wife is a trailer. Putting you on the spot. That ain't what God said. That's what he said, okay?
God wouldn't let me say that.
Come on,
even though he know it true.
Come on, babe. Come on. The people is waiting. Antoine said he got word. He said, release the word, sir. Release the word. Ooh, the people is waiting for the word that's in your
like
belly.
Antoine either.
Yeah. He said he don't like you either, Antoine. Listen, Corey, let him eat that donut while it's hot. This security speaking. Corey, he gonna eat that donut and I'll heat it back up for him. I sure will. Come on, baby. You know I wouldn't do it if I wasn't prompted. So, yeah. You know, if I was prompted, it's a reason. Okay. He getting his mind right. I mean, together.
We need a word from the Lord.
Man, you're making it complicated. Just talk. Come on. Yeah, come on. Come on, baby. You know what
you can't
say.
Put a gun to somebody's head and expect them to say stuff. They scared. Look, I don't have a PhD in public speaking.
For what? That ain't why I speak so well.
Why you speak so well?
The God. It's just the God in me.
Okay. He ain't telling me what to say right now. Why you moving your lips like that? Her lips is moving like she's trying to tell me what to say.
I was.
You was.
I was.
People, please forgive me for not having words right now. Antoine, I promise I'm gonna have something to say tomorrow.
No, but you got something to say. You got something to say. I feel it. Release the word. Stop holding on to it. You is being greedy. Release that word. You got it.
I don't have nothing
to say
right
now. What would you say to me about valuing the time that you have?
Okay. Really, time is important. And my time and her time sometimes are different times. But if we value each other's time, that's the key. Because my goal is to always have her nose crinkling up like it is right now. And if I give her my time, I think I can make that happen.
And you do.
So value the time you have with that other person. If you don't have that other person, value your time with yourself. That way, when you meet that person, you'll know how to share your time.
Oh, that's good. And you weren't finna give people that. Greedy.
That wasn't me. That was somebody pushing me in the back of my head.
But that's the beauty.
Yeah. Value your time. And I'm learning that right now. We're out of town because my stepdad passed. Okay.
So your whole face could be here.
See, that's me not trying to take up all your time.
You good.
Okay.
I relinquish the floor, sir.
Yes, I would say value the time that you have with your parents, your friends, even the people that you don't talk to on a regular basis. If you call them your friends, value that time, because the word says today, tomorrow is not promised, and I'm learning that right now. So value that time. Okay, babe.
I value that time and I value your time. And I thank you for letting the Lord use you this morning, even though you didn't want to. That means a lot to me because I know it took a lot
Okay.
for you to do that. And I release you.
Corey, I'm going to eat my donut.
Listen, I know my husband be mad at me when I do that, but
Not mad.
okay, not mad. Off guard.
Off guard, for
Off
sure.
guard. Off guard. But one of the things that I want you all to know, and I want y'all to be real clear about this. You know, my baby said something, and I think it's how a lot of people think, right? That if I don't have this degree or I don't have that degree, you know, then maybe my voice is not going to sound like somebody else's voice. His voice isn't supposed to sound like mine. His voice is supposed to sound like his. And what I know is the gift inside of him is great. It is a great gift. It is magnificent, and it's so much bigger than he even realizes right now. But guess what? I see it. So my job is to provide space and a little nudge, lovingly, with a purr, to get him to step into that space. Yes. Nicole said, well, Tasha said, you guys are beautiful. Corey said she is keeping you lifted. Antoine said, you pushing him in his destiny calling. And men, if you don't have a woman who pushes you into destiny, that is not the woman for you. You ought to push each other. He pushes me because there be days, hey, you need to get up for the drive-by. What you doing? It's time for the drive-by. You're not doing the drive-by? What's going on? We're supposed to do that for each other. You know, I know that he's more behind the scenes, but God is calling him forward. And so I'm just like, babe, can you come on here and give the people a word? He over there shaking. My baby like, just lay right here. She got me all on social media, going to the world. What in the world did I do? God, this woman you gave me. But
God, I'm still laughing. He said they're going to be all right, though.
They are going to be all right. Yes, we are, baby. Yes, we are. Listen. I value that man. I value him. I value the time I get with him. And Antoine said that you have a nation's calling. You're called to the nations.
What nation is that, Antoine? I hope it ain't One Nation Under the Groove.
One nation under the groove.
Where he at?
Antoine is in North Carolina. Antoine, I used to live in North Carolina. So I'm open for invitations to speak at places around the world. I'm open to that. So, you know, if you're interested in having me come, April said, I agree with Antoine. Baby, you do. God wouldn't put me with you if you weren't called to nations, because that's what I'm called to. So, you know, and that's probably why we've got a lot of international travel scheduled this year. You know, we're doing a lot out of the country. We're spending time out of the country. God is, and listen, I couldn't do it. Check this out. I couldn't go until he came. Now, ain't that a mess? I could not go until he came.
Because then my hypervigilance will be in the backyard if I'm right next to you.
That part. Right there.
Right there.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you all, let's manifest God's promises for our lives. If you're going to join me on the 7-day complete fast, the water fast, put fast in the comments. If you want the link for the Manifest God's Promises class on 2/22, for 2222, put link. April said, Corey said, now I want a hot donut, one of hubby's faves. I know that's right. Y'all need to get these done. This Johnson's Bakery, Perry, Florida. It's amazing. No, we're doing it. I got to do my name change first. So once I do my name change, then I'm going to go ahead and do we're going to do our passport applications and stuff. Plus we're going to Africa this year. So we have to do it, and we have to have our passport for 6 months prior to traveling. So we're going to be doing that as well.
Real fast.
Real fast. Yes. Yes. Soon as the marriage certificate is done, then we'll be able to do it.
I'll tell you people, the water fast is spring water, not that purified stuff. Spring water.
My baby says spring water, not that purified stuff. What about alkaline water?
Spring water.
Is spring water really spring water?
No theories this morning. Alkaline water, they added something to it to make it alkaline. Spring water is natural.
Does it have ingredients on it? Is this spring water? Look in there and see. Do we have any ingredients?
They just scooped it out the water and put it in the bottom. You see stuff in the bottom? That's sand and rock.
Okay. Corey said, "Is Fiji good?"
Corey, I'm gonna tell her I'm gonna call her later.
He said he gonna call you later. Kim says spring water. Zuri said, when does the fast start? Monday morning at 6 a.m. is the beginning of the fast. Monday morning at 6 a.m. is when we start. All right, Kim. Okay. Kim said, I need at least the you do you. All right. Y'all listen. I just need you to know this one thing. I love you all to life and life more abundant. I pray that the word has blessed you. I pray that you've gotten something that you needed. If you were blessed by the word and you want to sow a seed, you can go to Cash App $DRV Walters, Cash App $DRV Walters, or PayPal.me/DRV Walters for a little while longer, and then it'll change. Antoine, you said you want the link to the fast? Absolutely, Antoine. I will definitely send that to you. Can you, because I know you're on YouTube. I'll come over on YouTube and find you. Or you can drop your email address and I can email it to you, okay? All right, y'all. Look, I got to get the day started. I got to eat my donut. It's not hot anymore, but my baby's going to nuke it for me for just a little bit so that it'll be nice and warm and tasty. Look at him. He just slid it on out the way. I'll just eat this piece. Yeah, these donuts are amazing. God is good. Y'all look for the flyer and the link for the class. You guys, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.